The following content is provided by MIT OpenCourseware under a Creative Commons license. Additional information about our license and MIT OpenCourseware in general is available at ocw.mit.edu.
Okay, good morning. Today is the last day of our course. We will do basically two activities. We will make again the exercise of critical moments reflection methodology that we made in the second day of the course. And we will talk about the future of reflective practice in this new world that is emerging. Okay. I will try to make you to remember, to help you to remember the methodology. The first step of the methodology is to formulate a question that will guide my mind in the analysis that I will be trying to do. And once we have the question, we name it inquiring question, we will step back to the experience, trying to identify critical moments. I will explain better what critical moments means, and we will reconstruct the experience through the critical moments, and we will make an analysis of that. Okay? So, the first step is the inquiry question. What you need to think about for defining your inquiry question is what questions, if you had an answer to, would help you to better apply reflective practice in your future activities. Okay? The issue is reflective practice in my future activities. How I can improve it. And the question is what I need to answer for improving the application of reflective practice in my future activities. Okay. Each one will formulate one question, and we will collect as we did the second day of the course. Please write down what question you would like to answer with the exercise.
About anything?
No, about anything that will help you to improve or to better apply reflective practice in your future activity. Okay? Thinking about your experience throughout the course, what you would like to understand better for applying reflective practice. Okay? Go into your mind, think on the challenges of applying reflective practice, what you already know and what you are not so clear about, and what question you would like to answer, to have an answer. Okay? She will come back. See?
Batrela se va a
Voy a sacar eso de acá. We're thinking about the inquiry question. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good morning. We have already begun. We are trying to formulate an inquiry question for a reflection exercise. Okay? We will put in front of you for making it easy. Okay? Interesante ese sistema de pizarras móviles, ¿no? Porque tienes como 3 o 4 pizarras, pues. Tienes mucho más pizarras en un mismo espacio. ¿Ya? Ya. Ya. Let's begin. Ah, por acá. Vas a trabajar acá. Vas a trabajar aquí. Ya. Ay, pero ellos entonces están perjudicadas. Las dos allá del fondo. ¿Está bien? Paula y... ¿Está bien? Okay. Okay, let's begin. Your question?
We had two. Do I just choose one or
Okay.
one at a time? Got
Yeah.
it. My first thought was how to, and this is what I thought, I don't know what it means, how to make reflective practice more practical.
Okay, how to make reflective practice more practical. Okay. Lee?
How can I engage a community in learning from their organizing?
How can engage community?
How can I best engage a community?
In a learning,
In learning from their organizing work.
How I can use the skills in developing a closer relationship with the groups I'm involved with.
How can I use reflective practice skills in
Develop a closer relationship. I feel detached and
to develop a close relation
with the groups I'm involved.
with the groups I am involved? Okay.
how can you apply reflective practice to community development?
How can we apply reflective practice in
To community development.
to community development? Apply reflective practice to community development. Ed?
I'm not sure if I did this correctly.
Okay.
I wrote down, I understand the importance and respect of individuals with disabilities in our workplaces, members of the board of directors, and participants in community organizations. Should I say it again?
Yes.
Okay,
What's your
what I,
question? What's the
Yes, because
Oh,
this
okay.
is in a statement, you need to formulate a question.
okay, and then I wrote, how do you educate people about the contributions of individuals with disabilities and ensure their participation? Should I go
Not so
slower?
fast for
Oh, okay.
enable
Oh,
her
sorry.
to
I wrote,
write
okay,
down.
how do you educate people about the contributions?
Can you synthesize a bit? Because it will not be easy to.
Okay. Can I think about it for a couple of minutes while you're going around?
Okay, yes,
Because
yes.
I wrote it too long, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
How to implement democracy on the reflection of on the reflection practice.
Yeah. How? Implement democracy in
Into the reflection practice.
into the reflection of practice.
Or the practice of the practice.
Exercise? You mean more like an exercise?
What
Okay.
is the difference? You know, how to do that? How to use like democracy and a reflection practice? Because sometimes it's very confused with democracy.
We can change the order. Should be how I can apply reflective practice in democracy, okay,
Yeah, good.
or on democracy issues,
In democracy.
on the issues of democracy. How we can implement reflective practice to the issues of democracy. Okay, thank you.
I had 3, so I don't know. I'll read whatever. What are the areas in which the group? Oh, wait for.
Yes.
What are the areas in which the group had the hardest time doing successfully, and why? How can we merge individual frames better? And how can we more effectively become aware of our tacit assumptions? So, I don't know. We could pick one out of those.
No.
So, what are the areas in which the group had difficulty applying?
A difficulty doing successfully, and why? Or is that 2 questions?
Okay.
Okay. You?
I was trying to figure out how to take this knowledge about reflective practice and implement it at an organizational scale. How do I take the knowledge that I have and
Okay.
effectively
How to
use it
apply the knowledge about reflective practice in?
at a larger scale with either a community or organization or
Okay.
if I'm working in a group with a number of different people, how do I
Okay.
if that's not already part of the process, how do I bring that into the process?
Mm-hmm. Reflective practice at a larger scale. Okay. You?
It's about what steps are necessary to make reflective practice a habit?
How is it necessary for?
What steps are necessary to make reflective practice a habit?
A habit. Okay.
That it comes naturally.
Okay. Okay. Make reflective practice a habit. Okay. Naturally. Lakeisha?
I see like 3 of them up there that I would reiterate, like Ezra's comment about how you integrate this into, organizations that you work within. So I think that would be the biggest one for me.
Okay. This one.
Okay.
Now we need to select one of them.
Oh, as a group?
Ah,
As a group?
yes.
Do you want to
Hmm? Ah, yes, Ed. Have you?
Yeah, I made it a little shorter.
Okay.
This is what I wrote. I wrote, how do I continue to include people with disabilities within community organizations as leaders?
Yeah.
Do you want me to say it slowly?
How is that related to this?
Yes, the problem.
You need a question that if you had an answer to, it would help you apply reflective practice in your work, in your future activities.
Well, let me just say this. Maybe let me just say this. Like I've done a lot of work with including people with disabilities in my practice. So I want to include more people with disabilities in organizations as leaders, because a lot of times they don't have equal opportunity.
You would like to apply reflective practice to this kind of issue?
Yes.
Okay. Or how to apply reflective practice for including
individuals with disabilities.
Individuals with disabilities.
Okay, I was trying to think about how to frame
It's okay.
So do you see any here that can be combined, that are similar, that are the same? Let's look first for any questions that may be duplicates.
Yes.
I think maybe make reflective practice more practical and making it a habit or similar.
Okay.
Okay.
I think they're actually a little different.
Well,
I mean, they're related, but I
Yeah.
don't think they're the exact same question.
So-
I mean, practical
No,
means
no.
it's making it kind of convenient and simple, whereas making it a habit is sort of doing it consistently.
yeah, but if it were more practical, it might be.
So
But
A
maybe that's
and
not the best way
J,
to go.
similar. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah. Do we
Any
find
other-
any other
Can
one?
maybe be combined.
I think
Yes.
C under, I was thinking under C, cohesiveness in the group. It will go under another question.
What were you saying, Kathleen?
I'm thinking that C will go into I.
C with I. Ah. Mm-hmm.
F and G are like the same statement backwards. F and G. Democracy to RP and RP.
Yeah.
And that was the same. It was like
F is the same. G is a rephrase of F. You can eliminate F.
I
Okay?
think C and D, C would kind of fall, I'm sorry, not C. B. I think B and D are related.
Mm-hmm. How can I apply reflective practice to community development, and how can I engage a community in learning from their organizing work?
B.
B.
C and B.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
G and
B
D.
is more general than B, right?
Exactly.
I think
Organizing falls.
both
Okay.
of those could be a subset of I because they're types of organizations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just apply and engage.
Do you see
That's
another kind of?
Yeah, I believe people would
And it's sort of like a topic area for applying reflective practice too.
Well, that's even more specific of a level.
No.
Okay. Which could
We've got A right now that we're kind of able to combine with J. B and D with I. Anything with regards to H and G and C?
I think how can we apply the knowledge about reflective practice at a larger scale, and how can we implement reflective practice to the issues of democracy are kind of related, right? And it's a larger scale also.
are related. The question is that in G it's to in a specific issue, and the other is to different kind of issues. No?
it was that B and D were under I. J.
Okay.
Okay, so if you were then to try, if you were then to try to combine A and J, how would you combine it?
You mean in one sentence or?
How can we make reflective practice common practice?
Mm-hmm.
But then you don't include the practical part, right?
I guess it's somewhat implicit. Renee, what do you think?
Under common?
More practical and natural. How's that?
Okay.
Is that good?
Okay, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Now this one here.
B and D. How can we engage a community in learning from their organizing work, and how can we apply reflective practice to community development? How do you prefer to?
And then you've got the element here of how to take reflective practice to a larger scale.
How can we apply? We could take the D as starting point.
Or not? I mean, I don't know. I have a question about where we're trying to get to. Maybe that's my question.
If we could rephrase the questions in a way that integrate the interest of
Everybody.
No, of the two persons who formulate.
No. That's our immediate step. What's our second step after that? Like,
We
where
will
do we want to get
select
to?
2 or 3 of these.
2 or 3.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay?
That's
to
what
work
I was
with.
wondering where we're going.
Okay.
I
But-
think that there's a thing about, I think that D could be the general, organizing could fall under D, so it could be a natural evolution from D, from community development rather. So I guess I'm saying that, how can we apply, how can we engage?
How can we engage community in using reflective practice for their development?
Is it like a chain from I to D to B? Like I is the least specific, most general, and D is community
Yeah,
development,
I
and
agree.
B is
Okay.
a specific element of community development.
Okay.
Because I is so general, I could see the AJ falling under I.
My suggestion is please propose phrases. Okay?
Could you say what you just said? Could you repeat what you just said in terms of combining them?
How can we engage communities in the use of reflective practice for their development?
Yes.
Okay? Okay.
So does that take in I? Does that cover I?
No.
Does that include I? Is that?
No, I'm not trying
You
to.
just do B and D.
Yes. Okay? How can we engage communities to use reflective practice for their development? No? Okay. So can we put new letters for this? L. Okay. Okay. Now please select 2 of these that you would like to answer. First, silently, no? as always.
Okay, any two on the list.
Yes, any two. She's eliminating the questions that are already reformulated.
What number is the top one?
So I'm leaving I. Okay.
L.
It's separate because we never incorporated it here.
Okay? Okay.
Can you repeat that C for me? How to use effective practice? I was referring to
Skills
group
to
dynamics.
develop a closer relationship with the group I'm involved with.
About group dynamic. How to make
Okay, let's begin. Your letters, your
Which
options.
one I want to work on?
Huh?
Just one?
Two.
Two.
Or-
I,
Okay.
I, or L.
You have not. I.
I.
Okay.
Yeah. You.
L or M?
L or M. You.
L.
L. You have another choice if you want. I.
M-I.
M-I.
Okay.
I wrote down MC.
M-C. C-C. You. You.
Okay.
I would say MC as well.
C and what?
M.
M.
Okay.
You.
H and I.
H and I.
All right.
You.
L and I.
L and I. L. I.
M and I.
M and I.
Oh, I didn't realize that
M
H
and
was.
I. You.
L and I.
L and I. Yes. Okay. You.
No, I already took.
Okay. So we have basically three questions, no? We can work with. How we make common practice, reflective practice, a common practice. To make it practical and natural, no?
Yes.
How we can engage communities to use reflective practice for their development. And how do you apply the knowledge about reflective practice at a larger scale. Okay? We will write these questions in a sheet of paper and we work the next step. The next step is okay. Now, try to remember the course. Okay? And try to recover your critical moments. Are moments that you perceive as important because they was positive or negative, because they was meaningful for you in a positive way or negative way. Not necessarily. Great.
Moments in your life.
In the
Course.
in the course, but related to the course. You may have a critical moment in your house thinking about the course, okay? Or trying to make a task for the course, okay? But it should be critical moments of your learning process relative to the
Related to reflective
to
practice.
reflective practice. Okay?
Then we should come up with
You need to write 8. 8. Yes. You have a sheet with 8. And as you can see, first of all, you will write the name of the critical moment. After that, a brief phrase describing it. And once you have all the critical moments already identified, try to establish the level of importance for you. Let's work with 2 levels, 1 and 2.
And notice that on the form there's a part for your name and what group you belong to.
We are
Just put A if you're an MCP student, B if you're a CRCP affiliate, and C if you're other.
okay.
And then are we going to do the same thing we did with Caesar the other day? Or go-
Yeah, the same thing, the same thing. Okay? The same thing.
There's 2 priority levels? Which is-
Yes, just 2.
Which is the highest?
You decide which one you think that are more meaningful for your process.
No, is a 1 a higher or 2 a higher?
1 higher.
Okay.
1.
In terms of what?
Importance for you, personally. What do you think that were more meaningful for you?
And 1 is high.
1 is high. Okay?
Sebastian, I have a question.
Yes.
Can it be connected to your professional work? Talking about what you learned from the class, but can it be applied to experiences in community organizing? Is that okay? I'm not quite clear enough with myself, to be honest.
The timeline is
Critical moments for your learning process related to reflective practice.
Okay.
over the last 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks, or as long as I've been here.
The days you have been here, I think.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And you write, we have 10 days in the course, okay? Day 1, day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the weekend, if you have something in the weekend, okay? 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. 10 days of the course and the weekend. It may happen that you have some, okay? I'm not sure about, but I need to give you this possibility. Huh?
Description. No, we tag your critical moment with the date.
Okay, exactly. Because this will help us to create the timeline. Okay? How long we have for this? We have 10 minutes. So it's necessary to go through.
What if you wanted me to description?
One phrase, a brief phrase. Okay?
Just enough to you know what it's about.
Exactly. To know what is it about. Okay?
Do you have to describe why it's an important event? Or just what it is?
What it is. Okay? Yes, just what is it? Because if I go to whys, I will open, okay, new level of. In some cases, you may consider necessary to explain why. You can use it, but it's not the core content. Okay? You can go through your emotions in the course. Okay? Critical moments are highly related with how we were feeling. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yo solo pretendo que yo recibo una hoja aquello que no sé. No me puede recibir dos. Sí, no me puede recibir. A menos que me haga por correo. Y que yo no sé el nombre de la persona que me ha mandado. Porque no fue Pablo. She's preparing for TOEFL, and she will try to apply. She studies psychology in Peru, and try to apply to some universities here. Sometimes it's about here to MIT, but not. Okay. Don't spend too much time in just one critical moment. Once it's clear, just go to the next one. Don't try to be precise. You are it's a process of retrieving of our memory. quando decimos en esa eso. Sí, experiencia. Invierno. Sí. Claro. Yo no me quiero describirlos. Ah, sí, espérate.
Day of the course that we are relating this critical moment to,
Priority level.
and then here.
Here's the priority level.
Oh,
And the date, the day you can put in any place.
going to change the course.
Please, because other people will read after the workshops. Okay? And
I'm writing too much. Is that-
it's okay. You need to put the name, but if you don't, it's clear about, you don't feel clear about, you will not oblige to them because he was present only for a few days.
Is it, you just look at what I did, isn't it?
What's this?
Oh, your own assumption. This one
Yeah,
first.
you need to put a name that
Oh, okay.
yes, but are events.
Oh, okay.
Only events, small. It's the title of a newspaper.
Oh, okay, like a headline.
Headline.
Oh, I wrote you that.
See?
Wait, like what I'm writing. Is that
Yes, this is okay.
Did you read what I read?
But in the name
Put the name with it. Okay, at the beginning.
of the event.
Oh,
Okay? So you don't mix the name.
right so much.
Yes.
Okay.
And okay. And only for I think the true you should write only in the days in hand.
Right, well, that's what I'm doing, just the 4 days I can.
Okay. Dos, necesitan llegar a 8. Están 8.
Ai não, eu já tenho 3.
Ah, okay. How many we have? Huh? No? Okay. You? Natasha, how many have you? Okay. 4. Porque tenemos.
Choose your top 4.
Okay.
And when you say priority level, you
Sí.
prioritize if possible.
You mean from 1 to 4 on ones you pull out?
We didn't explain what priority.
You said pick 1 or 2, level 1 or 2.
Oh, really? Don't keep
Yeah,
going.
yes, yes.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
okay.
So here, pick your top 4 that you'd like to share.
Okay.
What are your criteria for selection?
The ones that seem the most important for you in terms of your learning process.
Would that necessarily correlate with priority?
The name of the critical moments
I thought so, but if not, don't worry about it.
is the name of an event. Okay? It's similar to if I am reading a newspaper, the first line, the headline, thing like that. That I read and I know what is it about.
Choose your top 4 in terms of the most significant
Okay?
in your learning process.
Yeah.
Okay? And
This
write-
is the art
write
of the
just the title of the critical moment.
people who writes.
And over here, I'm going to write just the
Journalists.
title.
Journalists.
I'll give you the newspaper.
They are expert in this.
Right?
No? Write one. Exactamente. Okay. 4 for each one.
Yeah, 1 for 2.
Yes.
Do 4.
4.
4 critical moments?
Yes, 4 critical moments. 1 critical moment in each index card with big letters for helping us to read.
So here you have your, use these markers.
Okay, sure. They already have.
Everybody has
No, they here.
We were going to talk to you and ask you, because you've been here so many days,
Right,
maybe it would be interesting for you to
This is green.
Oh, that would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd
Get
rather
me.
do that.
Okay,
I'm very comfortable.
great.
So I want to see it.
Claudia, you're supposed to do plus minus.
Yeah, just like you did before, you put
Yes.
your name. This is a critical moment name, your name, plus or minus, and the date, like the day.
The day will
Which
be
day?
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? If you think that you had some critical moments before the course.
Does it have to be only one day, or can it be like from 7th day?
No, it's an event. An event happens in one day.
This was the weekend.
Oh, wait.
Weekends included.
Weekend was only 6.
Weekend is,
Only 6.
I taught them 6 for the weekend. Okay,
No problem. 6.
6. Okay, but we need to change all the other ones. The other. Okay?
Okay,
Here.
wait.
It's the best. 6. Yeah. Yeah. 7. So we remain 8, 9, and we have until 11. Okay? Yeah. 6 is weekend. Remember, event has a date. Process may be longer. But we are talking about events. Critical moments are moments, not processes.
And now from these 8 we choose 4.
Yeah.
Yes, you select the 4 more important.
Most important in terms of your learning process.
Yes.
So they're all going to be 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
They will all be 1s.
Yes.
You all be.
Number 1.
Yes, yes, they should be of the highest priority if you have more than 4. Okay?
The event is also a process, right?
Huh?
An event is part of a process.
It's a part of the process. We will construct the process. And in the process, you select the key event. The key event of your process will be the critical moment. But critical moments are events. Okay? I suggest you to use 3 to 6 words for describing, for naming the critical moment. 3 to 6 words will make easier for us to pick up the idea of the critical moment. For the index card in your sheet of paper, you can be much more detailed. Okay? razonable, pero no estamos produciendo los resultados. El título no va de la manera que nos gustaría que fuera. Sí. Ya. Yo, por ejemplo, yo prefiero que no me solo nombran lo que han solo nombran, no explica. Así es, solo nombran. ¿Ya? Solo nombran. ¿Ya? Para que nos ayude a ver de qué están hablando. Pero solo nombran. ¿Qué más? Y ahí entramos al... ¿Cuánto? Ah. Sí. Ok. Sí. ¿Por qué no tenemos eso? Sí.
Pero tenemos que hacer knowledge.
Podemos entregar ellos al final del curso para que nos llene esto en una hoja y nos entregan. De hecho, muchas veces me ha funcionado muy bien. Al final entregamos una hoja con estas preguntas y antes de salir, ellos lo llenan. Antes de entregarles la evaluación.
Esto de conclusions about the inquiry questions, eso en sí es todo un proceso. ¿Qué nos dice de todo el análisis del timeline? ¿Qué podemos tomar para el inquiry question?
Sí.
Eso
Sí, pero achievements, areas of improvement of the course, yo lo puedo pedir después. Ese sí yo lo paso por acá.
¿Ese lo vas a pasar aquí?
Sí. Sí, lo voy a pasar. ¿Ya? Ya. Ok. Who have not finished yet? Yeah.
Okay, those of you who are ready? Oh no.
No, we can wait everyone to finish. Okay? What? 4. Okay? The 4 more important.
Morning. Plus or minus?
Yeah. Finished. Have you finished? We are just waiting for.
Yes.
You put here.
I just have to put it over.
Yeah, please. At the back. It's better. It's more beautiful. With this.
So, no, Sebastian.
Yes.
Here, what? Just the title.
The title. Just the
title.
title.
Okay.
Of the event, of what happened this day.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. Okay. We know that some of you have already finished, but we need to wait everyone to finish before to begin the next step.
Really? I think we'll wait a few more days before I start. Is it even it has to be cultural lessons.
And remember to put the date of the event in this way. In this. If it was before the course, you put 0. If it was in the first week of the course, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. If it was in the weekend, 6. And the other days of the course are 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, one number more than the day of the course. Okay? Okay. Próxima vez, yo no voy a poner número o weekend. Yo no voy a poner número, voy a poner W. And to maintain the number. Lesson learned. No? Okay? Yeah. Sí.
Right, the one you were saying where you're just doing what you want to do for like a company
And now they want
yeah.
Do you have to see what happened that day?
Or could you do that?
Ya. ¿Tú crees que es más rápido? No, me están moviendo la gente y nosotros vamos a pegar. Es mejor sacándonos de ahí, el suyo. Ya.
But at the same time, like, the timing is right. The hands are right. They're really interesting.
Los cuatro, ¿no? Sí.
Could you divert your feet so it's on?
Okay.
Give yourself a little.
Pero,
You have to apply it. If you want to go first.
But then you have to pay another.
No, I don't think so. Did it? Almost positive it's free over the phone. If you switch to the next semester.
¿ya está? Okay.
If you want to do it. For ninth, the ninth of the week. I guess you could talk about it. What advantage is it? Well, if you're really committed to doing something practice, you're really into
¿Quantas ainda falta para você?
Just one more. I just have to write it down.
I'm thinking about the thesis, it's just like, write it or whatever deadline I have.
Yeah. But it's true.
Las diferencias de ritmo entre las personas, las diferencias de ritmo. ¿No? Que es interesante porque es por la manera como uno organiza la búsqueda.
Y luego también entender lo que se ve.
Ya, está formulado. No. Yeah, okay. Let's begin.
Who wants to start?
Okay. The person who, each person will come here and will put the critical moment, and before it, read for us and put the critical moment. If it's positive at the upper side, negative at the downside. Like the last day, the first day. Can you want to begin?
Sure.
Okay. Can you, I suggest you to take your 4 with you and begin to.
You know?
Yes.
Well, the one that was the most positive was the exercise around reframing that the problem statement.
Okay.
And then, I have two about the same exercise, the whole reframing exercise. And then the assumptions, this means the awareness that was raised of how many assumptions I operate from and how hard it is to defend them. And then the last one is the mental modeling that we did of MIT and the realization of how I can see it being used to identify areas of conflict and agreement.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Is that okay?
Okay, that's okay. This was Tuesday, no?
No, it was the framing, the original framing exercise. It was on Monday, wasn't it?
Monday?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
And the,
Okay,
the
yes, correct. The first exercise was framing. Okay. The next one. Okay.
I think this was, I had this Friday, that was my first day here. Describing mental models as possible. And identifying features for reframing, I thought was very critical. And then it was day 8, I think. And using assumptions, being careful for writing questions using assumptions and your own values. That exercise was very eventful.
Okay, thank you very much. Another person?
Walk off.
Day 4. How stuck we are in our theories of, or espoused in theories of action. Same day I had a so what moment. Where's the modeling one?
Mental modeling?
5. I enjoyed MIT model, and my moment of looking at an MIT model as if I were a squirrel or as if I were a bird helped me, give me an aha moment. I know it's weird, but I was probably on something that morning. And then 10, I guess, yesterday?
Yesterday? Yes.
How we can combine some creativity with rationality.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Who? You? Lee?
Piece of tape. Okay, my first one was the reframing exercise.
The reframing?
Yep. on
Which day
January-
was?
That was day 4. That was, yeah, that was that, and justice for all. My issue was, why this exercise? Day 10, positive, revisiting concepts or reframing a frame. Day 4, again, well, this is positive.
Yes. Day 4.
Yeah, it was after going back and thinking about it, being able to separate the issue from the purpose of the workshop. And day 5, mental models. You know, my actualization, how I actually use MIT, my role here at MIT.
Okay, thank you very much. I will try to move this for being able to make all. Ahorita, después en la discusión. Porque si no abrimos a los juegos. The next one?
The first one about the mental models class was actually never clear to me how you identify and build a mental model.
Yes,
So
yes,
it's
yeah.
maybe
Day 5.
After the 4th. The conceptualization class related to the reframing, it was actually
It was yesterday?
Yesterday, it was 10, I think, around
Yes,
10,
yes,
right?
yes.
So it was positive. The reframing class.
No problem.
The reframing class. The first Monday, this week Monday.
Yes.
Was actually very enlightening. Also.
Positive?
The importance of reframing. Yes.
Okay.
And then I thought there was not enough reflective dialogue related to mental models.
Okay. Thank you very much. Ilma? Okay. Please.
Let's see. No particular order. Dissecting assumptions in the problem frame. I thought was really helpful exercise. I also thought the framing the problem exercise was also very good. No one else mentioned this so far, but I thought Seki was really cool.
What?
Seki
Oh,
helped me get clear about types of knowledge and how to think about issues. And
Sesi.
Sesi.
The Sesi cycle.
Okay, yeah. And I just like hearing about Sean's conception of reflective practice.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
So none of mine were about the content or the exercises. They were mostly about just stuff that got me here and got me motivated to be here, I guess. That's a lot of it. So the first thing was just seeing the poster the day before and remembering that this is something I was interested in and that I should get up in the morning and go. I actually got here. If it weren't for seeing that poster, none of the other things would have happened. Then the second thing sort of related was I was going to do this GIS course, and I was like, oh, maybe I should do that too, and well, maybe I can kind of do both, and well, you know, kind of do an hour of this, and then run off to the other class and do this crazy thing, and I was like, no, this is more interesting. I'm going to skip the GIS course, this is more important, I can learn GIS anytime. Which continued throughout the week, by the way. For the first GIS course, then there were a number of other things that I thought I was going to do instead of this class, and then I ended up still coming to every class. I was going to go to New York for a long weekend, that didn't happen. A number of different things. So that was sort of the first seed of like, well, you know, this is more important than the other things. What's that?
Okay.
Claudia and Sebastiao invited me to come and do the mental mapping exercise with them before class.
Yes.
And so I learned a lot about new ways of thinking about cognitive mapping, and I just really enjoyed that. That was really helpful for me, just in thinking, my own thinking of the work that I'm involved with. And then I met with you guys after class, and that was really got me excited about stuff on the same day.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, just for not blocking. Okay, let here we assume that are connected with this group. Okay, thank you.
So I'm really bad at remembering like what day it is, so you'll have to help me.
Okay.
I think it was day 10, learning that the key is conceptual innovation and not technical.
Day 10, conceptual innovation.
And not technical innovation, is that what you said? Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Learning that lack of is not a way to state a problem.
It was the day.
Remember that
somewhere
someday
around
the
here.
price of money.
That was 8.
8. Okay. Positive or negative?
It was positive and negative. I was like, oh, okay, it isn't, you know. So that was kind of negative because I always just thought like I knew how to state a problem, you know. But it was,
You had a lack of problem stating.
yeah. But it was positive because now it forces me to think more. You know, when someone says, "What's the problem here?" Now I have to think more. About it. So it was good and bad.
Kind of annoying.
And then I liked when Ceasar was telling us the story about Framingham.
The first, the 7.
About Framingham.
About Framingham.
When Ceasar told us the story about Framingham.
7, Monday 7. He told the story for helping us to frame the situation of Framingham. Okay?
You know, I thought that was positive and negative. Like, it was positive because I felt like I learned a lot about the situation and what went on, but it was kind of negative because then I thought, oh my gosh, like these are some of the challenges and issues that I'm gonna have to deal with, like as a planner, and so. And then the day, having the class disturb my assumptions when they questioned me on the race exercise.
Great.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was 4.
Day 4.
So that was actually, it started off as a negative because I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you, you know, I didn't really understand, you know, as yet, like what really the point of it was. And so you get kind of defensive and like you have to like defend what you're saying, but I mean, now I think it's positive because I realized like it was, you know, this whole process of just uncovering our assumptions, which I now see as a good thing. So we don't have to hold on.
Okay. We are off.
It's my turn.
Ewan.
No, what I tried to do in the back, which you will see later, I don't know if I remember the days, but first I started with reflection practice because I had one idea about it, and then when I got here and started to see it, it's almost like I had to completely change my way of thinking what reflection practice really was. So the positive is on the top. Okay.
When did you realize that?
Yesterday. No, I think it was a process, was throughout the course, and I felt every day I was learning different, you know, in the process. And then on the back, I put a little bit about what was happening around that time in my community. Framingham is what was discussing that was making me thinking of that, so you can see that later. And then I found the frame and reframe. And of course, the frame and reframe was really what helped me to see what the reflection practice was. Because through trying to do the frame and reframe was when I could better understand what reflection practice was. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Which day? The day when we
did the reframe. I think it started on Monday that we really got into small. What day was that?
Monday is here.
Okay.
This is Monday. It's positive or negative?
It's positive.
Okay, let's put.
I'm all positive.
Okay.
But actually, the framing for her was Tuesday. Because she was a listener.
She put
on Monday.
framing and reframing. You need to choose.
Okay. Tuesday, right?
Tuesday or?
Tuesday was when we criticize, we analyze
We analyzed the frame.
the frame.
It was Tuesday.
And we discover how it was stated, how the assumptions really were,
We got
and the question of the lack of. No?
So that's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday, here.
Okay.
And then Wednesday was when we were looking at how
We
coherent,
redesigned.
how coherent the models were, the frames were.
Okay, I think that was the mental models and dialogue. That was last week. So the theories and the concept of the ideas, I think I got, when I understood the frame and reframe, was when I really could see the concept of the ideas and things coming together. And I think I'm very visual because I was really using these models that I was learning here is the work that I was doing in front of me, but I put it in the back of it here. You can take a look, and I think I had a better understanding. It was more positive than it was negative when I was watching. When I was here thinking, I didn't feel as positive when I had to implement in the community. So that was on Thursday.
Thursday, yes. Yes, here, this night.
So
Okay.
and the mental model, I think that was before. The mental model and the difficulty of the dialogue and to put in the concept together, that was very, I really still not quite get that.
Okay.
What is the mental model was used.
Okay.
I think that was
The
negative.
day
And that was it.
5, it's negative.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Let's move it a bit more, not to block the other one. Okay. So we have here a brief description, a very brief description of what happened. What I would like to talk with you is, can I sit here? Okay. Thank you. Because if I am there, I will be blocking you, okay? Let's see. First, we have the perceptions of all the participants during the course. What are the main findings? What are you seeing in this? What can you see in this group of critical moments? Yes?
It seems like to me that people rated the highest things that were of particular relevance to them in their work. So like for me, the mental mapping was really important, just in terms of what I've been doing for my research. And I think for a lot of people throughout the course, I keep hearing that reframing is something that people are interested in. And so it's not terribly surprising to me that a lot of people really congregated around the reframing exercise as being the most important part, because it's something that they already felt was valuable and necessary for their work. And I feel like the negative ones are largely when people weren't quite understanding why to do the exercise, or what the concept was that they were supposed to be getting. It's when there was some confusion or a sense of that they weren't getting the material, perhaps. But those seem like maybe a lot of the problems that congregate around that.
Okay, thank you. Another comment? Yes, Claudia?
It seems like the turning point for people was the end of last week and the beginning of the second week, because there's a lot of negative, but also a lot of positive within that frame of time between Friday and Monday. I mean, the beginning of the second week, I think it's an important. There was an important change within people's identification of critical moments, either if they are positive or negative.
Building on that point, it seems like the first couple of days people kind of maybe weren't getting it, or everyone's kind of getting their feet wet.
Please, a bit slower, please.
Sorry. The first couple of days, everyone's sort of starting to get their feet wet, and they're sort of just trying to figure stuff out. And then we started to employ it on the 4th and 5th day, and people sort of struggled with that and had a hard time. So we had a mix of reactions. But then in the second week, maybe people started to come together and understand better, and really kind of get it at a deeper level, maybe, which then made it make more sense.
Okay, thank you. Other comment? If you want, we can compare your own experience with the experience of the group. You can talk about surprises you have looking this distribution of critical moments, or question you have in your mind. Ezra?
I was just wondering how much background of other things that are going on in our lives affect where we put critical moments and how we
Okay, we can talk about this later, because it should open a new vein of conversation. Okay, let's see just the course this moment. How we live the course. Yes?
So it reconfirms what I had seen in the other critical moments exercise that we did, and the one that was done at CARE, that the group's critical moments tend to cluster in the same areas.
Yes.
It's still interesting to me that, working totally independently, that it comes out that way. Now it's still 100% of the 3 little experiences I've had.
Okay.
I have one other comment.
Yes.
Thinking about, I agree with Chris has said,
Chris?
we were just trying to understand what was going on. I think it also relates to when we began to do more involved, involving exercises where we all participated at a greater and had a little bit more in-depth discussions about what we were doing. It involved us more, therefore, my assumption would be that that's what caused those to be a little bit more critical.
Okay.
At the outset, I didn't feel very involved.
Okay.
And I'm realizing that I made my critical moments were more like aha positives. But perhaps I should have put one that went the whole length, because I still felt that we missed opportunities to do what we did yesterday and have a group discussion where others could say how they were thinking about it in their own lives.
Yeah. Okay. And she after you.
Oh, yes. I totally agree with her. That's when we had. I agree with her, because at that particular time, Friday was the first day breakout groups. And we had a lot of discussion and a lot of interaction that Friday and Monday. And I think that touched on, that's what most of us really remember. And I think Tuesday we also had a breakout. Then we had groups, exercises, we all interacted, came back and shared our ideas. And I know those are the moments I remember most.
Okay.
Those particular days.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Ashburn.
I was just going to say that it seems like the days that people remember the most are also, at least in my recollection of the 2 weeks, those were the days where we really dug in deepest with the exercises and really tried to pull out the assumptions.
Yes. Yeah.
But what is interesting is that at the beginning, when the exercise requires more involvement, engagement of each one, we have more negative critical moments.
Yeah.
No? And after a while, no, people got to control better
I
their
think that also
process.
has to do with how people interact with each other within a group, how they get to meet each other and be more comfortable with each other. So there's a period of time where for the adaptation process implicates positive and negative effects. And that is a consequence of being more aware of the group and of the people and how they think and how you have to relate with them. So I think that's why that can explain a lot about the negative also.
But the critical moments that don't refer to group relation, they refer to relation between the person and some issues of the course.
No, I
No?
think no, because if you, I mean, if you're stuck, you're feeling stuck in certain situations, and it may be related to your inability to connect to the other people in your group with whom you're doing an exercise, how comfortable you feel.
Okay, should be an explanation, but it's not stated there in the words.
Well, yeah, agreed that my reasons, part of my reasons, I think that I began to have more positive, it is the group dynamic and getting more, where you look around the room and you feel like I kind of know some of these people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're right that it's not stated, but that wasn't the question we were asked to express. We were asked to express the critical moment, not why it was a critical moment.
Okay.
I think
So,
it's expressed behind what
yes,
is
it's
expressed
behind
there.
these critical moments we have the process of group dynamic. Okay.
Well, just like your assumption that that the first experience was the first time we let ourselves be vulnerable, and then it was better. That's your assumption about why these are critical moments.
Exactly.
It's not there.
It's not there. We are assuming, no?
You are assuming.
I know. And you?
I haven't considered it. If you want me to, I can come up with an assumption as well.
So, I'm trying to read, to interpret what people are telling me. I have no opinion about this yet.
You created an opinion.
Maybe. But she expressed that there was a group dynamic, and Jody also expressed it, and Claudia also expressed the same feeling. So I took it. For me, I have not opinion about this yet.
Yeah.
Okay? Lee? Yes. No, she has a question.
Okay. Oh, I was about to ask, I was not here the first 4 days. Was that the first day of exercise, of group exercises? When was the first?
The first day was about learning.
And there was a group exercise.
There was a...
for every day?
For every day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All the days there were group exercises.
Okay.
Okay? Lee?
I was just going to say that, and I'm speaking strictly on my own behalf, for me, my emotional feelings. I think the negative leading up to Friday, Thursday, the 4th, I agree that we were kind of getting concepts and understanding, feeling, trying to see where the work was going. But for me on Thursday, the exercise that was chosen really, it bubbled up a lot of emotions that come out, certainly for me, when you talk about issues of race. And I think that that exercise that was chosen made me go back and really look at how important, when you're trying to sort of articulate or, and not that you even have to own it, but when you're trying to articulate concepts or get theories across, how difficult it is to use issues around race to convey that concept, if you know what I mean. And I think it really disturbed me in a way that I had to really reconsider why am I here. And so that's why I put negative and positive, because I think that the whole notion of the concept, the theory that we were talking about on that day was trying to understand framing or reframing.
Theories and use.
Yes.
Theories and use. But because we're dealing with an issue that's so complex in this society and so emotional, it just barricaded my ability to really get it. And I had to go home and really think about it and really sort of understand that I had to separate the issue. So I think it certainly opened up my mind and my openness to receiving the information and really understanding what it was we're here to do, or what I'm here to do, why I'm here. So.
Thank you, Chris.
Isn't that, I kind of feel like isn't that a great exercise though to have, I mean it's hard, it's much harder to do it with race, but to have that charge, because I mean, these are the situations that happen in the real world. People get really charged about issues and you can't just separate your emotions, on something like race or, class issues or post-war, I mean, whatever the issue is, I mean, are you saying, do you think it was good to have it so early, or do you think it would have been better to have it later on, or not at all?
I think it would be better not to have it at all. For me, I mean, and because the impact that it had on me was just not a positive impact. And it almost disturbed me to the point where I didn't even want to come back, and that was so ridiculous. I had to go back and really think about what that meant for me. And I actually had a conversation with Ceasar about it because I was just really so disturbed by the whole thing. And it wasn't anything anyone said. It was just the circumstances of the world that we're living in and working in and trying to fight for justice. So it wasn't the class, it was just, I guess our society, and it just really disturbed my spirit.
So what made you tell us about this critical moment here?
What made you tell? What made me tell?
So
you
you're
about
telling
that?
us, you're telling us about this, like you being very disturbed that day, but then something, I think your conversation with Ceasar, or tell us about what happened here.
No, it was a conversation with myself.
Okay.
When I went
with
home
yourself.
that night
What
and
happened
then continued with Ceasar the following day,
Perfect.
really made me separate the purpose of why we're here and what value can come out of a process like this, and giving some hope for working through hard issues that communities face with every day. I thought that this process could maybe help others understand some of the complicated issues that we're dealing with every day. So I had to really dig deep and separate my emotions from the issue and the purpose, and look at this series of this class as an opportunity to perhaps use in my work to help others who are struggling with the same issues, and race and class and all those things the isms that we're dealing with.
Okay. Thank you. Please. No. Any other comment about this? Okay. Let's.
I just had one thing I was going to say.
Oh yes, Ed.
I thought when we did the Framingham, when we heard Ceasar talk about the Framingham situation, and then we did the problem solving together, that was a very rich experience for me, you know, where we all contributed what we knew or heard or experienced in our own practice. I thought that was an excellent day, particularly for me.
Okay.
So,
yes.
so the question, one of the questions that you guys picked today was how to make reflective practice common practice, like more practical and natural for us. If we were to do this whole methodology and finish, what we would do at this point is see which of these critical moments, if we understood better, if we could analyze in more depth, we would begin to answer this question. Okay?
No, excuse me. No. Looking at the
now.
Yes. Looking at all the critical moments, not just only one.
No. I'm describing the methodology as it's not what we're going to do now. It's
Okay.
So I think it's important for you to know what it is, so that you know that we're making a change. Okay.
Yes.
So how it usually works is you look at all of these critical moments and you begin to identify the ones that if you analyzed in depth through storytelling, you would be able to begin to answer this inquiry question. Okay? We're not going to do that.
Okay.
What we're going to do is, just in general, if you look at the distribution of these critical moments and what we just discussed, is there anything that comes to your mind that could help you begin to answer this question? What ideas do you get?
Okay. One question by one. We have 2 questions.
No, we're just going to focus, because of time, we're just going to focus on this question.
Okay. Vamos a hacer eso. ¿Sí? Okay, Claudia is suggesting.
Guys, we're going to focus on this question of all of the questions.
Okay.
If that's okay with you guys, because of time.
Okay. How to make reflective practice common practice. Okay? Thinking about this. Thinking about your own experience and the experience that you saw from the other people. These days, you are trying to learn reflective practice, you are trying to apply reflective practice, and now from this reconstruction we have made, what you can find that should be useful for having ideas about how to make a common practice,
How to make
reflective practice a common practice.
like more practical and natural.
Yes.
There have been a lot of theories thrown out about why these clustered in the way that they did. If we take the assumption that it's because your analysis, which I like about it was hard at the beginning for people to really analyze their assumptions, and then as they have gotten more and more practice, they started to be more and more comfortable with being in that limbo land that you were talking about, and not quite knowing where they stood in terms of their assumptions. That when we're dealing with people out in the real world who haven't taken this 10-day course, we're going to get people who are not even at day 4. They're at day 1.
Okay.
And so
not even at day 1.
Not even if they're day 0.
Okay.
I haven't even seen the poster
And
yet.
so if we the closest thing out of all of those days, the closest thing that gets to day 0 is all of these problems people had at day 4. And so I feel like if we analyzed what's going on with all those problems in day 4, we'd have a better sense of what problems we might encounter with others when we try and integrate this into our work, and that might help us answer the question of how do we do it on a daily basis, at least in terms
But
of
could you synthesize your idea in just one phrase?
one phrase.
Yes. The idea that you think that may help to...
Why? It gets a little bit back to Chris's question of why people struggled with that exercise.
Okay.
If we could understand why then it struggled with that exercise, we might be able to understand how we could practice use this in our daily practice, and it would also help address the question that I had about how do you bring this into a larger scale of working with other people and getting them to think in the same terms, which I think also is.
Okay.
I think Chris's question, what can we learn from analyzing the problems people had with that exercise?
Anyone have ideas about this question? Yes?
I'm not sure if that even makes sense, but I think based on what Lee had said and the impact of this exercise has caused on her, and based on some of the experience I have, and what you're saying, the sentence at the beginning, it's so critical. If you have to go in a community and you only have half an hour to bring an idea, to bring something that's going to touch many sensitive people there who might be the ones who make things happen, how can you deal with that? And I find that based on what we see here is to be able to describe this kind of practice in a very small way. When you come to a place when you're trying to identify, is be able to have a dialogue. And I think we go back to the dialogue of bring this kind of understanding to whatever way you're going to work, so you won't have reaction like that where people walk away because where you're trying to get. Does that make sense?
Okay. Thank you, Claudia. No, she asked it first.
I said go
ahead. I think that common practice implicates a certain maturity of group dynamics to happen.
Okay.
In terms of
or individual dynamic.
Or individual dynamic in the relationship with the people that you are working with, or the people that are part of the community that you intend to, where you intend to implement the reflective practice or a culture of reflective practice. It's not, what I mean is it's just not something that happens in the first day. It implicates a certain process of familiarization
with the group
simulation of.
Okay. People need to feel comfortable with the others. They need to trust each other. Things like that. They need to construct some kind of relation among them for feel comfortable sharing this kind of effort.
Probably can say that way.
Okay, Chris.
I would almost phrase what you're saying, like I agree with what you're saying, I'd almost phrase it as unity. Like, you know, it's like there's sort of a sense of shared spirit or common, like there's a common energy that sort of develops over time that you don't get in the first day, and or at least
2 or 3 days.
Not in the first 2 or 3 days, which maybe, you know, I mean, once you start working on stuff, you know, that tends to open up, and I don't know, so maybe that'd be it. Maybe I could ask a question, which was what are the contextual conditions needed for, I don't know, reflective practice to work well?
Okay, so we should put attention to the contextual conditions.
Yes. Like maybe it doesn't work in the first 2 days.
Making this process going forward.
Yeah.
That is a much better phrasing of what I intended to say. It's
okay.
It's actually about the context where you do it, which I think is very important.
Okay.
But what if you only have 1 day?
Okay,
but it's not possible.
Maybe it's not possible to do it.
But we cannot solve this question this moment. And
I would just say, like, learning to ask the right question. Learning to ask the right question. If you can learn how to ask the right questions.
Yes. Okay. Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's what, because we can only control what we do. So if we have a problem to address in a community, if we're going to, we can only control our own approach. So how do we make this common practice for us? By asking the right questions. How do we remember to ask the right questions?
To ourselves.
Right, yeah, because I can't.
Okay.
To think about going into a community and get them all to do this is overwhelming for me right now, because my question was, how do I make this a habit for me first? You know, if I can ask the right question, maybe I can bring somebody on board with going into this whole process.
Okay.
If I don't approach it, you know.
Okay. So the capacity for asking the right question is something that will make easier for one to reflect, no?
To remember
To
to
rem-
ask the right question.
Okay.
And also to understand what is the
Yeah, what is the right, how to ask the right question.
Okay, we have a new question here. How to ask the right question. But it's a good one. We should think about it.
Would it help that you know the group that you're working, have some familiarity to the people you're working with? Would that help you address them in a different way if you know the group has some idea of the background of the people that you're working with?
The experience of Ceasar is that it's almost a requirement. People to share some kind of experience before, for making the process as a group, not necessarily for working individually, but for working as a group is required to share the same kind of experience or the same experience.
So I think this, if you think about this question, how to make reflective practice common practice for ourselves from an individual level. You know, this, what Nikisha and Jody just mentioned, really it's a learning from what we see in these critical moments. You know, the questions, some of these things help. That's a lesson we get. That's something we get that helps us begin to answer this question. So try to focus on those types of things.
Okay. Renee?
And you said where would we look for these things? And I think one of the things that I heard, it might have been Ezra who said it, was the critical moments were related to when the moment was relevant to the individual. And so that's where I would look to figure out how to make.
Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, that's
Can you repeat, please?
You asked us where we would look.
Yes.
To figure out how to make common practice more practical. I would look to moments of relevance for the individual.
Okay.
Based on
Okay.
visual.
Any other idea? Okay. So you feel comfortable with these answers? Some other things come in mind. For example, Ezra had a question at the beginning. You remember? No.
Should he come to class or not?
Huh?
Should he come to class or not?
No. Okay.
Which question?
I don't remember.
Oh.
But you had a question, and I asked you, wait for a moment because we are now trying to answer.
No, it was about the background, the context of what's happening in our daily lives outside of class that affects where we put the critical moments, and how we think about
Okay, it's only about how we define the critical moments.
No, it's about what we're going through personally in our lives that may have impacted it.
Yes, the idea, I got it. Okay. Okay. Yes, Chris?
I had a thought on Renee's point, which was maybe we can't really go through the whole process of reflective practice quickly, but is there a way to convey the value of it quickly at least? So at least you get them hooked, and like they kind of, raises people's curiosity and say, well, that's interesting. Maybe I'll stick it out for 2 days or whatever it takes to really start to get into it to the point where you can feel the value. Maybe like our day 4 period when you kind of, you really engage. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to do that, but.
Okay. So, I think that we have. Yes.
It's related actually with the type of language that you use to communicate what is reflective practice. My question is there a way to communicate in a different way that can attract more people to understand and to make it a more common and useful thing in people's lives, and not so much an abstract thinking about the situation, and then you need to Just thinking about the way you communicate, the ways that you use to communicate what you want to develop as a common practice.
Okay, the vocabulary, the kind of words are used, no? Okay.
Not the vocabulary,
No?
the mediums you use to address the mediums you use. It's not only the vocabulary, it's how you communicate. If you communicate through workshops, if you communicate through media, type of communication, if you just what is the
Is the channel.
The channel
The channel.
to get to people and to
Okay.
what is the
Would that be models? Would that be the different models they use?
Okay.
Depending on the group that you're
And the
in.
Okay, we should be aware of that because different people prefer different ways of expressions in media. Yes, okay. Thank you very much. The next one?
I was just going to say that maybe one way to try to answer this question of how to make the practice more something that comes in your daily life would be to try and figure out which of the exercises or what elements of the exercises you found to be most valuable, and start with trying to incorporate those kinds of things into your day. Like, which are the ones that you could do on a regular basis that would have the most impact on your work.
Okay.
The actual exercises themselves.
You are thinking about the exercise we made in the course? Like reframing or model, meta models, things like that. And try to use what we have learned with this exercise in practical situations we are facing. Okay.
Like, which of those do you feel like you got the most value out of? Because each one is going to take you some time to do. So
Okay.
which one did you feel like really gave you the most bang for your buck that you could then go and implement?
Okay, great, because this is the starting point. No? You need a starting point for improving the use of reflective practice. Not the theory in general, but one point where you began to practice it. No? Okay, thank you very much. Let's go for a break, a very brief break, because we need to make another exercise before to end the course. Okay?
So do we have how long?
5 minutes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, really 5 minutes. The purpose is not to give you an extensive vision of what is happening. Just try to understand the context where reflective practice emerged and what kind of context we are facing now. Okay? Yes, we will need each one, please. Yeah, you can. No, no, let's wait. Okay. The question is that. First. The question is that reflective practice is something that was invented in these 70s and 80s and the beginning of the 90s. Okay? And in the last 10 years, it begins to be applied, but a lot of people worldwide. In the last 10 years. Let's go. After reflective practice was created, a lot of things happened. Web, this new global communicational platform that connects China, India, United States, Latin America, and enable us to be in contact worldwide. The cell phones and the VoIP communication like Skype, and the fact that the market at the world almost doubled in 10 years. So, in the last 10 years, we begin to see some of these things that are emerging. One is Wikipedia and the concept of wiki. No? The gradual construction of knowledge, where many people collaborate for constructing a knowledge base. Okay? And a new concept of encyclopedia. It is an evolving encyclopedia. But it's not only Wikipedia, but it's not only the idea of an evolving encyclopedia, but also of an evolving knowledge base for each interest I have. The search engines, Google, Yahoo, the Chinese, I don't remember its name. What? Baidu, no? And these search engines are changing the way we access to information. For us, it's almost impossible to work without use engines this moment. This will change our professional work. The other idea is, I don't know if you know that, the Iowa electronic market. It's the book, The Wisdom of Crowds. It's about minds, exclusively in their minds, and not other people don't share this knowledge, and combining all this to make decisions. It's very interesting. You can go into the Iowa electronic market to understand how it works. Okay? It's like people make decisions in downtown. Downtown, no, in the Bourse of New York.
The stock exchange.
Yes. Okay? Yes. Less than 200 minutes after the accident of the Challenger, they knew the reasons of the accident in the Bourse of New York. The committee spent 6 or 8 months, I'm not sure about that, for arriving to the same conclusion. And less than 2 hours after, they was clear about who was responsible. And the price of the shares of this company fell 12%. The conclusion was that the ring that produced the accident was produced by this company. It was clear less than 2 hours after the accident. So the use of private knowledge for making decisions is a very powerful tool. The other thing is the concept of collective intelligence. It's a bit wide, broader than this one, is how I can combine capacities of people around a shared issue or shared area of interest. Similar to this is community of practice. Small groups, community of practice, not open. Collective intelligence is more open, socially open. And community of practice are groups normally internal to an organization or institution that are working together for exploring, for learning, for sharing knowledge. Okay? The concept of innovation is something that arrives in the mind of one person, or in the mind of a small group, is being changed for distributed innovation. There is a book of a teacher of MIT about democratizing innovation. It's about how customers develop innovation for companies. If you go to internet, you find groups of people who are interested in social innovation, how groups innovate at social level, and how they can combine their innovations and they can share their experiences. And more research is being done in networks. Okay? Some authors think that the art of conceptual innovation is the driver. What's pulling the process forward is the capacity of combining a different kinds of technologies. And this combination is made by the creation of new concept of products or new concept of services or idea that enable to reframe many different things. What we discussed yesterday, conceptual innovation is becoming the driver, okay? And for people who are in the market, the third phrase is important. We have millions of people innovating systematically. The only way to get an edge and maintain the edge is innovating the concepts I am working with. Okay? And artistry will be much more important in the future. Okay? Let's go. New requirements of collaborative work. Global and local issues are getting mixed. New issues are emerging that don't fit in any profession. Okay? Local problems may be combined at global level. And more we need to combine different kind of professions for tackling the same problem. Yes. So, any profession will face the challenge of getting updated, to expand for applying to new fields, to adapt to change situations, to reinvent its practice. I'm not reinventing my profession, but the way I do my profession, I need to reinvent it. And in some cases, I need to reinvent or create new professions. Okay? What has all this with reflective practice? And I try to show you some people who are going forward in this of reflective practice from their own perspective. Okay? The first books in the ground, no, are the books of Scho. Okay? And after that we have the Medici effect, how to trigger creativity in groups of people. Democratize innovation, the teacher of MIT, how customers can innovate much better than the R&D divisions of company. Customers. The 10 phases of innovation from IDEO, no? ¿Cómo se dice? Ideo. Yes, in Spanish I say ideo. It's Tom Kelly, the #1 in innovation in the United States. You can see that the way they think has a lot of the way we think in reflective practice. Okay? How to combine ideas, how to construct on partial ideas, how to reinterpret the ideas that other people brought to make it to fit with my idea, or how may I to reinterpret my idea to make it to fit with the others. How to be flexible, interacting professionally, how to adapt mentally to the different situations that I am facing. The other one, Source of Power, is the most similar book I have read to the reflective practitioner. It's about how people think in action. It's about the firefighters I showed the first day. Okay? And the world is flat. There is a part of the reflection of Thomas Friedman dedicated to conceptual innovation. A whole new mind is about the role of concept in the process of creation. Infotopia is the new environment that is emerging and how we need to be aware of the way we are framing the problems, the way we are thinking about the situation for combining with other people. And I am sure that we could have another example of that. My assumption, hypothesis in this case, because I am aware of that, is that many ideas of reflective practice are being used by these authors. And they are finding very, very powerful for them. Okay? So, in spite of that, reflective practice was developed in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Its importance is growing in this century. Okay? Yes?
So are those authors citing Scho?
No. No one cites Scho. But it doesn't matter, because if you analyze the way they are presenting their ideas, you can find similarities. But the people who cite Scho is the people who are dedicated to reflection methodologies, most of them. Because the idea of reflective practice was interpreted as the practice of reflection. That's not exactly the same. It's just one part of reflective practice, the practice of reflection. Okay? The practice of reflection is the stepping back to one experience to retrieve knowledge and for understanding better. It's very useful for these two purposes, and it's very useful too for learning to be a reflective practitioner, to think in action, to improve the way we think in action. But the idea of Scho is basically this last phrase, how to improve the way we think in action. Okay? Yeah. And I have some questions for you about this. How many cards you may receive? We need to simplify the exercise, no? 3 días? Sí, 3 tarjetas a cada uno. ¿Vale? Sí. ¿Ya? Okay, please. Each one of you, we have thought during the course, combining with some of these ideas I presented. Each one will write 3 cards. Yes, this course will require to think hard until the last minute. Okay? How do you see the future of the ideas of this course in your practice or in, yes, in the, this way.
To visualize the future
of reflective practice. What possibilities are open for reflective practice in these new environments? Okay. Okay? What future do you see for the ideas, these ideas developed at that time? Okay? 3 cards. No, es otra cosa, exactamente. Por eso yo paré ahí. Yeah? Please, 3. You can put your name if you want. Okay? But how you see the future of reflective practice? With mark, you can write as you wish, because we will not work with the cards. You give us the cards, and after you write the cards, you will express with vocally the main ideas you have wrote.
Sebastian, can I ask a question? Can you connect it to your own practice?
You can connect to your own practice as a reference. Okay, but we are trying to understand the future of reflective practice in general. Okay, the idea of this course. Okay.
¿Cuánto tiempo les vas a dar?
¿Cuántos? 5 minutos está bien, te parece?
Sí.
¿No?
Tenemos que terminar, se supone,
No te puedo.
por las 2.
Está bien. Yo me atengo a esto, ¿ya? Please. Please, you have 5 minutes. Yes. You know that the production of ideas doesn't depend on time. It's a great thing. Yes. It's really a great thing. They're very fast. The question is that we just don't pick them at the moment. Okay? The first glance that the first fragment of idea that passed through your mind, just write. Okay? Just pick it. Don't think much, because the first glance is the best idea. Most of the times. Yes, because the unconscious is very, very powerful in these things. Very fast. Okay? The best way I find for doing this very fast is the first idea, I just write it. And after that, I discard it. If it were not this idea, what new idea should be? So I put my mind blank again, and a new idea comes up.
Is that rapid prototyping? Is that what they mean?
Huh?
Rapid prototyping?
I don't know the name. It's the method I use in my workshops. Okay?
Well, but it's a conceptual process.
The question is, I formulate one idea and I eliminate it from my mind after I have formulated. For my mind be able to go to a new idea. To create the condition for the...
Create and drop, create and drop.
Yes. Okay?
¿Tienes lápiz?
Sí tengo. Lápiz. Estas cosas. Y acá también tengo un borrador. ¿Ya? Cuidado que esa tapita se cae muy fácilmente. Pero ¿qué? ¿Ya? Se cae muy fácilmente la tapita. Mejor dame la tapita para que no se caiga, porque se cae a cada rato, se cae. No, ok, ya. It's the only way you can produce 100 ideas in 1 hour. Okay? You look at it. Okay? Antonio tenía una idea de investigación para su tesis. Y me dijo, tengo una idea, papi. Oh, ya. Y hoy día no vas a ir a tu profesora con una idea, tú tienes que ir por lo menos con 5 ideas. Pero papi, yo pensé una semana para tener una. Yo dije, tú tienes 15 minutos para tener las otras 4. Te llamo en 15 minutos. Produjo las otras 4 ideas. Y tú sabes que para él fue un gran ventaja, porque cuando llegó a hablar con la profesora con 5 ideas, la profesora se quedó de espaldas. Dije, ¿qué tipo más creativo? Una, claro, con ajustes. Él trajo 5. Entonces lo que hizo al final es la combinación. Uno nunca trabaja con una sola idea, después que uno tuvo varias. Uno termina combinando.
Claro, pero hay un enlace entre que cuando haces la primera idea, la segunda ya está en algo enlazado en la primera.
Sí, en cierta medida, sí. Por eso es necesario decir, la descarto para reducir el nivel de enlace. ¿Entiendes? ¿Qué? Para que la nueva sea...
Porque el hecho de hacer la pregunta pensaba en el tema de la pregunta.
It's just like, yeah. We had to stop it. Forgive me. Ya.
Arreglar tus cosas, porque cuando están haciendo las evaluaciones, hay protocolos que nos tenemos que...
¿Ah, sí? Ah, ya. Ya, perfecto. No sabía ese detalle. Mis cosas personales, ¿podemos regresar después para arreglar la sala? ¿Sí? If
consequences of, I'm not sure if I'm answering the question. I'm more talking about consequences of using a reflective practice.
Yes, you can. It's a way to express an idea. You can express an idea from different sources.
Right.
Okay, yes.
I was
If it's the way the idea emerged in your mind, great. Just put it. ¿Ya están todas? Amiga, no piense, solo escribe. No piense, escribe. You have? Don't think, just write.
I realize the question I seem to be answering more is what possibilities does reflective practice open in the new environment? Is that okay?
Okay.
In what opportunities?
Yes, I understand.
Reflective practice open in the new environment?
Yes. It's the same. It's another door for looking at the same idea we were trying to observe.
It's more of reflective practice is the cause. In this framing, reflective practice is sort of the effect.
Okay. Yeah. But if it is the cause, it will be part of this reality.
Sure.
And this part will be a new possibility for it.
Okay?
Yeah. Already? Yes? Can we? Okay, we need to work very. No, we have 8 minutes. Okay, we will finish 12 less 15 because you need to make the evaluation of the course, and we will not be here in the classroom as you are evaluating the course. Okay, so we have only 8 minutes. Okay, let's talk about that. Si puedes escribir, aquí es mejor. ¿Puedes? Sí. Oh, ahí sería mejor, pero tienes más feo y tal. Yes? Can you move it? Oh, okay. Okay. You will give us your cards after. Okay? But please, the most important idea of the 3 cards, please tell us.
Choose one.
Yes, if you want to, you can talk about more than one, but first, one idea of the 3. We will work with the cards after the course.
I'm not clear what.
Just share one of the 3.
Okay.
Ah.
Oh, you're asking. Oh,
No, I don't know. I was looking at you because we
I was
were
just trying to
talking.
understand what I was
Okay.
supposed to do.
Okay. Who wants to begin?
I'll begin.
Okay.
I think that reflective practice can improve organizational and institutional efficiency. Can improve organizational and institutional efficiency.
Okay. Thank you. It's similar to the kind of formulation you was thinking before. Okay. Kathleen?
It is a possible blueprint to be used for building a strong community organization.
I missed it.
Can you?
It's a possible blueprint to be used for building a strong community organization.
A what community? A strengthened?
Strengthen.
Okay, great.
Okay. Claudia?
Reflective practice can cause or is causing an intermediate process of conflict of paradigms.
Paradigm. Okay.
Paradigms.
Yes.
I wrote down
One
demystifying.
minute, one
Oh,
for
I'm sorry.
enable her to write, to finish to write.
Intermediate process
Mm-hmm.
of conflict of paradigm?
I want to say that it's not a process that will take forever. It's an intermediate process to get somewhere after. I don't know if it's the right word. If I'm using the right word. Intermediate.
Mediate?
Causing an intermediate.
It's a process that has.
It's a stage of development.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly.
Okay.
It's a. How do you say that? Is it a word for that?
It is immediate.
Intermediate stage.
Intermediate stage.
Intermediate stage.
Yes.
It is an intermediate.
Towards
Towards
what?
Towards
A change in paradigm?
okay. In paradigm. Okay. Ed.
I wrote down demystifying reflective practice in a community through facilitation can result in collective decision making. Should I say it slower?
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Community. Demystifying reflective practice in communities.
In a community
Yeah.
through facilitation resulting in collective decision making.
Okay. Hilma?
I'm not done.
Okay. Chris?
Reflective practice can change the way we. Sorry, I wait for Claudia. Reflective practice can change the way we think, feel, and act as we evolve through our lives into higher being.
Reflective practice. Change the way we
think, feel, and act
think, feel, and act
as we evolve through our lives
as we evolve through our lives
into higher beings.
Okay, thank you. Esmeralda?
So all three of mine were actually sort of like one long thought. So putting them all together.
Okay.
So basically, I was thinking that reflective practice could enable conception of new hybrid interdisciplinary teams, which would then also enable those hybrid teams to improve their effectiveness as they work together, which would then enable the development of new conceptual innovations, enabling solutions of intractable problems.
Okay.
Problems that were previously intractable.
Okay.
Work better together, and what else?
So enable the interdisciplinary teams to come together and then to work better together. So the creation of teams. And then getting them to work better once they're actually together, and then which would then enable the development of new conceptual innovations.
Okay, thank you.
I put
Okay.
reflective practice can help build consensus in a complex society where an increasing number of interests must be balanced.
Where there's an increasing...
Where an increasing number of interests have to be balanced.
Ready?
Well, couple of my thoughts are already up there, but so I'll play devil's advocate and say that the new environment with the massive amount of information and the ability to share it so fast will make reflective practice ever more difficult.
Yeah. Okay. Will make effective practice even more difficult. Okay. No. No.
Why?
No, she explains the way. The increasing amount of information.
And
No?
like groups blogging, like minds.
Okay.
To answer the question of what possibilities are opening for reflective practice, I think that the new discoveries are challenging assumptions, so that opens opportunities for reflective practice.
Okay. Okay.
My turn.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's wait just a second for Claudia to finish to write. Good scrollers. Okay. Yeah.
Ready?
Yes, she has space there.
To reflection practice, we can find a common solution for local communities and global problems through theory and practice.
Common solutions for local problems, or global problems. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay? So, these are the ideas you can visualize for the future of effective practice. Huh? Joe? See? Okay. My own view about that is that in the next time, I think that people will recreate reflective practice in a way to do it much more practical, okay, and powerful for solving this kind of problems like conceptual innovation, different perspectives of different groups, things like that. I think that reflective practice will be recreated in the next years.